Um, so to kind of just um, continue on what I was previously saying, um, had to restart the stream here. I think that um, you know, I still think that we're going to see one of our shooting guards uh, get moved here. As I stated, Nick Clifford, just a great, just a great draft pick. Um, uh, really going to play a lot of his minutes at the three at least this year. I think he's a two, I think he could be a 2-3. He's about 6'5", 6'6", a decent wingspan. He's just going to be a great defender. And with the news that Perry, um, you know, met up with Demar to kind of confirm he's down to stay here this year, kind of is what I'm assuming. It sounds like Demar won't be moved. We've been hearing rumors about Keegan and Sabonis not getting moved. Um, so after the draft, adding Maxime and Clifford, Maxime probably be a 2-way. Our depth charts kind of we're pretty deep right now. We'll probably go out there and try to fight our way, find a point guard, veteran point guard, names that we've heard, Dennis Schroeder, Russell Westbrook, Ty Jerome, Tyus Jones. So that's likely how we're going to get our gap point guard this year. I don't see a big trade or a big name coming here this year as our point guard of the future. So, or it could even be the Monk gets another chance at point guard. I don't know. We might have to move him over as a point guard to be real, even though we know he's a shooting guard. That depth chart, he might be listed as a point guard and a shooting guard. To be real with you, like we might be really transitioning into Monk playing most of his minutes at the one, even though he's suited to be a two. And I was talking about that last year. That's something that I disliked about our team last year. We were playing so many people out of position. I still don't think Domas is the center. I still think he's a power forward. But we're we were just it was just nuts. We were just playing too many people out of position. So I still think DeRozan's best suited as a two. You listed as a small forward, but should be listed as a two. So I don't know. I mean, he's listed as a shooting guard in our trades though, which is realistically what he should be. But for our depth chart purposes, I'm putting him at the three because that's what it looks like he'll be playing right now. But maybe we can get something done. Maybe we can get a trade done that will allow us to kind of play players in the position they should be playing in. Right? That's what we want to do. So um, with our depth chart kind of looking full and kind of looking like how it may be, we might not have as much action as we've been told by all the big reporters out there, like Sham saying this is going to be the craziest offseason ever. It might not be like that. The LaMelo balls and the trays. Like I don't think any of those guys are getting traded. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't sound like it. So let's get in here and see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. That's why we're here, right? Have some fun. So it makes too much sense. Sometimes we're shooting for the stars. It's always good to shoot for the stars. But the Warriors are not bringing back Kuminga. Do I love Kuminga? No. No, I don't love Kuminga. Um, I think he could be a decent piece for our team. He's a young player. We can develop him, and maybe Doug Christie can do some good. Um, Kerr doesn't like playing those young guys over there, so maybe just maybe um, we can get something. We can get something going here. What can we do? What can we do? Seriously, what can we do? I think that. most likely we're going to see some sort of sign and trade because they want to be they want to be competitive. Um, they just don't have the time to develop Kaminga and let him make those mistakes. Just simply put. So let's let's go ahead and figure out this contract now. It sounds like he's looking for 30 million annually a year. um, so what is that? It's $120, $120 million, right? $120 million. So let's try to let's try to. Um, some people don't like the increasing, but I think that if we do it like that, we'll let him grow into his contract instead of trying to live up to it right away. Does that make sense? So let's see if we can do this math right. Let's see if we can do this math right. Let's say the first 2 years are 25 mil pop. Huh? How about that? So that's 50 million right there. We got to get to the 120. Um, so this is where it would kind of increase a bit. So we get to 32.5 mil. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if we do that, that'll be roughly the number he wants, right? We got the 70 and the 50. So we meet that on average. Let's save that. Let's save this. Okay, so we have that for right now. We're going to move him over to the Kings. Now, here's the thing. If this is going to happen, who on the Kings? That's why DeMar doesn't make. You don't pair Jimmy with DeMar. So where do we go from here? Seriously, what's the what's the play here? Like it probably has to be Levine. What does that look like for the Warriors? Is that enough? I mean, we still have some salary to make work. I don't even know if we're going to be able to. Um, but I mean, you got Curry, Levine, Jimmy Gray. Um, I mean, shoot, that's what I mean, they'd have the scoring. Defensively, can they get this done? Maybe. Maybe. I mean, it's good. It's better than Kaminga for them. What they're trying to do. It's yeah. I mean, that's probably the way we make it work. Um, and you know, who are they? Who are they sending off to us? They're probably sending off Moody to us as well. Now 47 incoming. We might be able to get that done. Um, and if that's the case, we might even have to give them a pick because them taking on that Levine contract's pretty tough. We're getting the younger player. So, you know, you probably can give him that San Antonio. Um, that that pick that they have swap rights. San Antonio has swap rights too. That makes a lot of sense. Um, okay, okay, it's not bad, right? It's not bad. Would be able to take um, that money on. Mm, I think they have to still get off some money. See, that's the issue. That's the issue, guys. And I don't know if a three-player trade is going to really be realistic. This isn't going to work for the Warriors. It's not going to work for the Warriors. Um, yeah. And so this is where it gets really ugly. So we can't even have that contract for Kaminga like that. So what you're going to really have to do is um, what you're going to have to do is really change this. I mean, you're going to have to give him more money right off the bat, which is so risky. It's so risky. I had done the math wrong, of course, so we can fix that now. But it's so this is what we're going to be giving him. I mean, I know a lot of people like like this way where it's more than less. So, um, let's entertain this for a second. Um, if we give him the 34.5 million um, off the rip, and then we come in here and um, he makes less as his contract goes on. If we do that, I mean, it definitely helps us out in the long term. But man, it could hurt in the short term. So let's save that and get back out of here. So now if we move that, that's how it's gonna. We can kind of predict how much money the sign and trade will have to be at least front loaded because you can just already see this is just it wouldn't the money wouldn't make sense. I don't see them moving any more than two players. So and I think that's what they would do. Um, unless they wanted to give Buddy up, they might want to give Buddy up. That'd be pretty hilarious. Um, that'd be pretty funny. Do we really think that the Warriors would give Moody up? I feel like he's a really good bench piece for them. I feel like he's a really good bench piece for them. So um, they don't need Buddy. Mm-mm. So that could end up possibly working, but the money still might not be enough, you guys. It still might not be enough. Well, let's see. Yeah. It's still not gonna cut it. Um, I mean, Levine makes so much money, you guys. So much money. Okay. Like we still need 14 million. Like you see how crazy this is. Um, it's just like no matter what we do here, you know, you got to add another player. You got to add another player. We're not gonna sign. We're not gonna sign Moody. I mean, we're not gonna sign Kaminga for more than that. That's an insane amount of money. I just don't see the Kings doing that. So, um, I mean, to make this work, it's going to be another player, and I just, I just don't see the Warriors really doing that. They really can't. Um, so, with that said, I feel like that first round pick's going to go out. That's what, and you know why? Because just doing this, just looking at this right now, just you know, trying to see how this would work is going to be very difficult for them to sign and trade Moody, in my opinion. Because what player is going to be? No team is going to move a better player that's making less money than what Kaminga is going to sign and trade for. Um, so, you're going to be acquiring a player that's making, anywhere between 35 and 45 million probably. And in that case, like the Warriors really don't want to give up too many players. Like they need some of these players still on their roster to try to, get a chip. Um, so this is going to have to just be so front loaded. Um, so front loaded. Like let's just offer up a little. Like I honestly don't know if the Kings would do this. We might have to look elsewhere, guys. We might have to look elsewhere. I mean, would you guys do that? Would you guys do that? Pay Kaminga front loaded 40-40. I guess it doesn't matter because you're going to be stuck with them regardless for at least 2 years at this point. I mean, so they have the incoming 47. So it's still not going to. Yeah, pretty tough. Pretty tough. I just don't know if I just don't know if that's gonna. Um, I'm not sure if that's gonna work itself out. I mean, the big point here would be just doing the Demar. We can definitely try that. I just, why would they want Demar? Right? Why would they want Demar? Why would they want Demar? Like, I feel like Jimmy Butler and Demar would be so redundant. It would just be, it'd be a wild, 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 wild. Eh, I guess Jimmy would be able to do what he likes to do, which is really just defend now. Right? Just defend now. This contract would probably have to be changed a bit, probably make a little bit more in 3 and 4, but for the sake of things right now. Yeah. So if you do this, and then give us like Santos, right? That will work. Would you guys do that? It just the Levine thing is just wild. So that won't work. This would. So I mean, and at this point, I mean, I don't even think they want DeMar though. I really don't. Um, like they're really probably gonna want Monk. Like Monk makes so much more sense for their team. You know, I mean, like, what do you guys think? So I mean, you could theoretically do something like this. That we could take a player a little bit more to make the money work, no issues. That that gives them a real big center that can come off the bench, and then Monk. Thing is with you know with our team, if we moved Monk and we got Kaminga, you know, who's DeRozan's going to be coming off the bench. Is he willing to do that? Is he? I don't think he is. I'd like to, you know, I'd like to see what others would think about that because it's like is Monk in it like I don't know. I don't know. There might not be anything here for the Warriors. I can't comprehend why the DeMar thing would work for the Warriors. I mean, they would love to get two players like Monk and J-Val, I think. But then why would the Kings do this? Um, like I don't know why you would do it. I mean, that's probably what it would be. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's probably what it is. That's probably what it is. That's probably what it is. Honestly, because they would want that depth. They'd want that depth. Um, they gotta send us someone else, and they can go ahead and just move. They'll play post and JVal. Yeah, that's the team that they want right there. That makes them competitive, right there. That's it. Yeah, that's the one, guys. That's the trade. That's what it would look like because the Warriors would have JVal post. They could play a big small lineup. They can stretch it. They could play some bully ball. They got shooters all around. They somehow still keep Buddy Healed and Moody and Pods. They're deep. They could make a run here. Um, they might need to like add some defensive piece here or there. Um, and with this trade, I don't think picks would really need to be involved. I think they're getting the best player in the deal with Monk. He's the best player currently right now. Kaminga upside, but you're paying him. The contract's already questionable what you're giving him. So I think that's what we would see if it was a Kaminga trade. Oh, what is it that we're missing here? Oh, cut 4.7 from the Warriors. Okay, let's fix this. They're gonna have to get They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to get rid of Moody or Buddy. I think they really enjoy Moody and his age. And if we do that, how about that, guys? How about that? Complicated with their money. There we go. There we go. It's funny we'd get Buddy back in Sacramento. That would be pretty funny. And he would not be bad with with the team, which is funny as well. Uh, okay, so let's go. Um, let's go over to our team and take a look and see what this would look like. So we just moved Monk. Sorry, brother, love you. We just moved J Val. Um, we just got Trace Jackson Davis back, which is perfect. And then, you know, we're gonna have Buddy in here. And then Kaminga for right now. Okay. Okay. I mean, the lineup in itself is wild. Um, you've done some good stuff here, but and we'll go and look at some free agents to try to add to that. But ultimately, um, you just close this. You just don't need. You just you don't need Terrence Davis. So um, you can just waive him. Okay, we'll just waive Terrence Davis. I did it last time. We'll waive him. I'll put over here waived. Just just to make the roster a little bit more sense. Um, so this is, I mean, you've got so much depth. Um, you know, and I'd keep Isaac Jones there. Good backup, good body. Um, yeah, I mean, your point guard spot again, assistant. You're gonna be deep, and um, yeah, I mean, this might be what the lineup would be like if to start, but I don't know if DeMar would be starting for very long in this lineup. And it's okay to have depth in certain places. Um, yeah, I just um, you're going to be able to throw a lot of different lineups out there. So many twos, it's insane, right? So many twos, it's just wild. I'll remove Clifford from there and just keep him as a three. Like I said, I think he's going to play most of his minutes three. Um, so realistically, this is probably what it would look like. Um, um, they might even move Levine over as your starting um, point guard. There's a lot of things you could do with this roster. Let's just take a second though and come into free agency, see if we can utilize this tool. Um, I think the what has the most validity is Schroeder. Um, I haven't heard anything about Chris Paul. Why would he come here? Um, so I think that they will be. Oops. So let's see if we can use this tool. Oh, there we go. Um, so yeah, if we let's say we give them the recommended, yeah, that works for us. That works for us. Yeah, everything's good with the books there. Everything's good with the books there. So that's a decent move. Um, that's a decent move right there. So as you can see, we signed Dennis now. We gave him 1 year, 9.8 million, just to get in there and just to add a ball handler. Ball, that makes a lot of sense for us. Did I spell his name right? I did. So we added Schroeder. So I mean, you definitely put Carter and Schroeder here. So there's your build two. There's your build two. Um, with this build, it's not as clean as the first one we made. We're really starting to run into positional issues. Mainly being you still have DeMar on the roster, and you've got Kaminga coming off the bench. But a coach is never going to complain about not having enough depth. Um, you've got the depth; it might just not be in the correct places per se. And Doug can do a lot of things with this lineup. A lot of things. um, you know, you could. I'm just going to use this as an example down here. I mean, just yeah, and again, I don't like it because I don't like playing guys out of their actual true position, which would probably be forced here and there to do that. But I mean, you could run out a lineup similar to this where you're going to say, "Hey, Levine, you're gonna point it up," and it moves everyone down the line, and frees up that opening for Kaminga. Um, so would that be the starting lineup? Probably. But you'd have several different lineups. You'd have Doug would be searching probably. I mean, that would be, I think, the starting lineup to start the season, and you'd quickly have a sub. You'd quickly have a sub out at some point for Schroeder and Ellis, and then you know that would be easy because yeah, it would just be you just have flexibility. You'd have flexibility, so it'd look something like that probably. Um, but another lineup that they could, I mean, you could run out there. Like if you really did want to run your vet point guard out there, you know, if you can have that conversation with Demar, you probably would see this lineup at some point in the season. Um, and here's the thing, also, Demar's old. He's older, right? So he's gonna have some rest days probably. That would allow Doug to roll out a lineup like this and see what it looks like. It's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. I think these are the two most frequent lineups you would see. Those are your two options, two starting lineup options. It's not bad at all. Again, your defensive versatility would come in off the bench, right? You know, it's you've got some options, right? So, regardless of what you're starting, though, the issue with this second lineup, right, is that Ellis has got to sub in, right? He's going to sub in. Um, but Demar's going to want to sub in, and so that Ellis is probably, who is it would get a little ugly with finding the best rotation if you started out like this. I think you can easily find a rotation starting out with this lineup. If you're struggling defensively, you're going to sub DeRozan out pretty quickly for Ellis, right? That's what you're going to do. So I almost think that you're going to start out with this, but you're going to have a quick sub. You'd have a lot of quick subs with Ellis coming in, maybe after the first 4 minutes of the game, right? You're going to run that. And then, quickly after, you can have someone, come in and ball handle for Levine, right? You'd see that. You'd see that, and then, from there, you can just your subs for those positions are pretty clean. Um, uh, so you wouldn't be struggling too much after that. But if you need some offense, Buddy can always get it going. If depending on the game, you have so many different options right now. So if you need the shooting, you can bring Buddy in. If you need the defense, you've got Carter in there, you've got Ellis in there, you've got Clifford in there. So, yeah, I think that although there's some overlap in this build, it doesn't look like it's going to be a perfect offseason for the Kings. They're going to have to give and take. So this is not a bad start at all. So I'm gonna edit this just so that we can kind of see what we would probably start with, right? And see if that comes to fruition. Kaminga definitely is going to go somewhere else here soon. So now we can kind of wait and see. We can wait and see. So there we are. Did I get that right? I think I did. There you go. Not bad. Some defensive versatility. What do we have? 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right? Yeah, 13. That's all. And then there's going to be some 2 ways to come back and forth, I would assume. This is a really solid roster, kind of a Vivek related roster here. We would still need to add and build defensive versatility, but that can come. We can build up Clifford here, and maybe he can take over that starting 2 spot, and then you can find your point guard of the future, and you're looking pretty solid. It's not bad. This is an improved roster. I think that with Doug Christie, you probably top 40 wins. You probably top 40 wins. So um, build 1 and 2 look very different. Um, so um, let's see if we can hit on this. I will tap back in for build 3. Um, Once we see how free agency um, comes, and really once that Kaminga move happens, um, I think that'll be the biggest free agent move. So then after that, we'll kind of wait and see. So we'll see whenever the Kings make another move, I will have um, another app for y'all. It was really nice hopping